Hey everybody, David Andrews here. We are talking about the 10 healthy habits for high energy living. Would you like more energy? Boy, I would say most people answer that question yes. So if you're following along in the series, you've already heard about some amazing things you can do on a regular basis to generate more energy. And today we're in day 2 of healthy habit number 5, which is food. And we said yesterday that if we use food as fuel to feel fantastic, everything gets a little bit better. So the challenge is we've grown up with habits from our parents, from our school system, from our friends, from our neighbors, from our workplace. All of the habits we have regarding food, we've accumulated over our lifetime, depending on our age and all the experiences that we've had. So we talked yesterday about raising our consciousness with food, and then we can begin to implement some things that hopefully will bring about a better result if there is in fact something you would like different than what you have today. And if that means you would like more energy, would like more ability to conquer the things in life that you really want to go do, if you want to be less tired, less stressed out, then maybe food has a possibility to impact that. Also, it could be ailments that you're suffering from. Like I mentioned in the last video, that I have overcome many different personal ailments and illnesses and dis-ease in order to live a more abundant life. And a lot of it was related to the food choices that I was making. And so today, I thought we could tackle the topic of breakfast. So if we start in the morning and think about what is most important to get our day started, and breakfast obviously is a very important meal or non-meal, depending on your strategy. But for the most part, most people can benefit from a really solid, healthy breakfast. And we're really breaking our fast because we've been sleeping for hopefully 7-8 hours, and it might be 10-11 hours since we ate last. So a couple of concepts. So one would be if you are implementing an intermittent fasting routine, which we can talk about potentially in a future session, then you may skip breakfast and you may decide to eat your first meal at 10 or 11 or 12. And that way you lengthen the amount of time before you have your break fast. So you still want to eat your breakfast. You want to break your fast either early in the morning, you want to get your energy going and you want to boost your calorie intake early so you have more energy for your morning hours. Some people like to skip breakfast and actually eat it at 11 or 12, and so they're lengthening the amount of time between their dinner and the time they break their fast. So most people though eat somewhere probably between 6:30 and 8:30 in the morning, depending on your schedule and your work and so on. So what I would recommend is thinking about the amount of carbs that you're receiving, the amount of sugar that you're intaking, the amount of protein you're getting, and really what is the quality of the food you're eating. So I'll just give you a couple of tips, some of the things that I've done in the past that have worked really well. I used to eat just kind of a random, way back in the day before I knew really much of anything. I was eating like a bagel and cream cheese or a muffin with coffee or maybe breakfast cereal and milk. All of these, I would have to say, pretty much you want to get rid of. So if any of those are on your list, don't worry. You can easily let them go by replacing them with something much more powerful. I think most people today realize that the empty carbs that are mostly available and readily available in the grocery store or at a fast food restaurant or a coffee shop are really useless. Should never, ever be eaten except for maybe a rare occasion when you want to have some fun with a friend and you're just doing it for the taste only. So if you're eating for fuel and you want to feel good, skip the bagels, the muffins, the pancakes, the cold cereal, all of it, just let it go. And replace it with something more nutritious. So the first thing about nutrition in my proposal to you is to eat raw vegetables or fruits. Now, it's not always fun to eat vegetables for breakfast, so I would recommend fruit. Now there's high glycemic and low glycemic fruits, and you can get into some with more sugar, less sugar, but the value of fruit has been maligned in our nutrition and health culture. So what I would recommend is eat lots of fruit. So I know the paleo folks won't like that, and the Atkins diet folks won't like that, and the other diets that say, you can't have any carbs, you can't have any sugars, won't agree with this. But my experience has been that fruit is extremely powerful, and you're getting a lot of phytonutrients from fruits, and they come with fiber, and they come with nutrients that you really can't get in other places. And besides that, fruit tastes amazing, and it gives you a lot of quick burning energy. Now, if you eat a low glycemic fruit, like such as an apple, that's really powerful. Now, an apple has the same wake-up qualities as a cup of coffee. So if you're drinking 3 cups of coffee in the morning to get yourself charged up, how about replacing that with 3 green Granny Smith organic apples? This would be one of the most powerful changes you can make in your diet. If you simply replace the bagel, the muffin, or the cereal, or the toast, eliminate them, and replace them with 2 small, 2 medium, maybe 3 small, organic, green Granny Smith apples. Granny Smith apples have the lowest sugar content, and they have high fiber, and they have something called pectins, which are basically a prebiotic, so it helps your entire digestive system. So I would say that generally I cured, what I would call irritable bowel syndrome, which is just a, crazy condition where your system's not functioning very well, let's just say that. And by eating apples every day, and I started with 1 apple a day, and then I went to 2 apples a day. Many times now I eat 3 apples a day, and I eat them in the morning for my breakfast. And so having apples first thing in the morning is a very powerful way to wake up, to give yourself sustainable energy. It's solid, complex carbohydrates. And when you follow the recipe that I have shared, and I will put in the description, it's extremely powerful. So I chop up 2 or 3 apples, nice and fine, add some crushed walnuts, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, hemp seeds, some cinnamon, and then pour over that some coconut milk or almond milk that's unsweetened. And this makes a very tasty breakfast. It's like eating cereal, but there's no carbs except for the apples. And the apples come with fiber. And I'm telling you, the nutrients in those apples will wake you up, and you will feel fantastic. So it could be lots of other things. Obviously, this is just one example of what you could eat for breakfast. Eggs, maybe some lean meats. If you're a meat eater, it can be very beneficial because you're getting some strong proteins. But also nuts and seeds can be very, very beneficial for breakfast because there's fat, especially a walnut. If you look at a walnut, what does it look like? It looks like the brain. So walnuts are going to be good food for your brain, also creating, being that prebiotic, probiotic, helping your digestive system work more effectively. So you want something that tastes good, but also gives you sustained energy, complex carbs, lots of fat. The nuts have a lot of fat. They also have a lot of protein. So pumpkin seeds are very high in protein. So if you add pumpkin seeds to your breakfast, you don't need any meat, and you'll get just as much protein, and you won't have that greasy sausage blah feeling that I used to get after eating the breakfast sausage. So these are just a few tips: fruit, nuts, seeds. You get creative with your prep. And then, if you're having coffee, limit the caffeine, maybe go with a decaf or half calf, but load it up with some coconut oil, some ghee, something that's got some fat in it, because that fat will fuel your brain, and it will put your brain on fire for the alertness, the mental capacity you need to get through your day. Highly recommend adding fat to your coffee, blend it in the blender. It makes it nice and creamy. You'll love it. Could be grass-fed butter, could be ghee, could be coconut oil. All of these are good alternatives to just straight up coffee that's just black. You can put some cream in there, but non-dairy. Don't go for the dairy. We can talk about that later, but pretty much dairy is not for humans. Okay, we're gonna wrap it up. Breakfast, to break your fast in the morning with something healthy. Try the apple recipe. It's amazing. I guarantee you will love it. Give you sustained energy, give you a lot of benefits, especially in your digestive system. If you struggle with any kind of digestive issue, This can definitely help you. Adding some nuts and seeds in can give you extra protein, and you're gonna feel amazing. So remember, fuel, I'm sorry, I messed up. Food as fuel to feel fantastic. See, sometimes these things come to me and then they leave me, but then they come back. So food as fuel to feel fantastic is the way to go.